Hey, how's it going, my deadly mercenary family? Cosmic Mercenary here, bringing you a spoiler review on Supergirl. Why spoiler review, you ask? Well, it's because Supergirl has been out for a while. You have probably seen different reviews, the spoiler and non-spoiler, and I'm a little late, obviously. But I still have my opinions to ask, and hopefully you guys want to hear my opinion, and here we go. So let's start off with the show. The show is fun and lighthearted and hopeful, and that's basically what it is. Unlike its other counterparts, such as Arrow and Flash, don't start saying, well, you know, she was in the NBC or whatever, and Arrow and Flash are in different channels, so it's a different link. No, it was basically the same everything, basically, but just a different channel. But now she's in the CW, so now she is part of the CW group, and now we'll count her as that, as I always have counted her as that. But anyways, unlike her other counterparts, this is lighthearted and hopeful, and before you go out and say, well, screw you, man, maybe it's not all about Marvel, happy joyride, and Disneyland and whatever, don't worry, I completely get you. But Arrow is, let's do it for what it is. Arrow is serious and action-packed and dark, and I love that about it. It's great, it's fun, you know, it's not fun, it's action, it's great, it's drama. That's what I want to see every Tuesday night. Wednesday night, I want to see a little bit more lightheartedness, so that's why there's the Flash, boom, fun, but I want it to be taken serious as well, so there has the serious undertones or the serious complex themes, and I like that about it. So it's a little mix of both worlds, you know, fun and dark. So that's what I like about the Flash. And Supergirl is just full on lighthearted and hopeful, and to a point it sometimes intervenes with the theme or the plot. It kind of makes it cheesy, but I still like it either way. So let's move on to the character. So Supergirl, also known as Kara, or Kira as her boss likes to call her, she's kind of awkward and shy in the beginning because she doesn't know what to do. She was brought into Earth to protect Kal-El, you know, Superman, but she got stuck in a vortex or whatever. I think it was in the what was it called again? The Phantom Zone. There we go. She got stuck in the Phantom Zone. Then she was spit out of the Phantom Zone, headed to Earth, and Kal-El is basically already Superman. He's already Superman. He's like, what, 22? I'll say like 22, and so he's already being Superman. And she's like, oh, well, you know, all her life in Earth, she's like, well, I have no purpose anymore because my purpose was to protect Kal-El. And what do I do when I can't protect Kal-El? So in the pilot episode, she starts showing like, hey, maybe I should protect my city. And then she goes on to become Supergirl, and the rest is history, as they say. But Supergirl is a really well-developed character. It's not overdeveloped, it's not underdeveloped. It's okay, it's good for what she is. And the actress that that portrays her is really good at portraying her. Now there are different, you know, you might say the inaccuracies or whatever, but I think it's a different take on Supergirl. It's a little bit more relatable in my opinion, because the Supergirl from the animated series, we didn't see much in the animated series, but what we saw was that she was having trouble being Supergirl, which was a good plot, but I really think that they shouldn't have gone with that one for Supergirl, which they didn't. And then there was the New 52 Supergirl, the most recent Supergirl in the comics, and she's, let's say, she's a really hot mama. And I'm not saying like she's physically hot. No, I mean like she's like gonna tear you apart if you just like whistle at her, and she's like gonna kill you. That's how hot she is. That's how that's hot's not even the word. Angry. That's what I'm trying to say. That she's really angry and rage is upon her. So I'm glad they didn't take that approach in this series. Okay, but Supergirl, well-developed character. Now the next the next person I want to talk about, or the next character I want to talk about, is Jimmy Olsen. Now Jimmy Olsen sucked. All he was a sexy beefcake that Supergirl was into. That's pretty much what he worked. There was nothing really that drove him except for, oh, well, I like Supergirl, but things in my life are complicated from me just going up to her and say, hey, you're pretty hot, not just because you're Supergirl or, you know, Kal-El's cousin, but because you're freaking smoking hot, which she is, by the way. And, you know, do like, oh, well, I can't because I have Lucy or whatever. It's like, yeah, screw you, man. Oh, and Lucy is Lois Lane's sister or whatever. I don't care. And then we have another character called Win. Win is forever alone. Why do I say that? Well, because he basically likes Supergirl. Supergirl knows this and basically saying, hey, no, let's just keep being amigos, amigo. Got it, amigo? Amigo, 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 amigo. And I feel sorry for the kid. But, you know, his character is alright just because I've never heard of him in the comics, and if he is in the comics, well, I'm sorry. But it's not like I had any, like, knowledge of him or any expectations of him. He was just there to be the opposite of what Jimmy Olsen. Jimmy Olsen's the sexy beefcake. This guy is the cute peep that you put in your microwave to explode. That's basically what he is. And, you know, poor guy, but other than that, he's an okay character. He's just a generic okay character. The next person I want to talk to is is Martian Manhunter and his sidekick Alex. Why do I say Alex? Okay, so let's start off with Alex first real fast. Alex is basically the big sister or the adopted sister of Supergirl, and she's just there, and she's the secret agent or whatever for the DEO. But she's just good. She's good at what she does, her job. She doesn't drive much of the plot forward, but she's there to give encouragement to Supergirl and all that, and that's pretty cool. And then there was this super awesome scene that I'm going to talk about later that I really did enjoy between Supergirl and Alex, and it was great. But that's Alex, basically secret agent, kind of like Black Widow, but I honestly think she could be a little bit better than Black Widow, just because you'll see in a moment what I mean by that. But she's a good character. The Martian Manhunter. Man, this is Martian Manhunter. From the beginning, this guy he's been serious about his job. He's trying to be low-key or whatever. And it's pretty cool what they do with Martian Manhunter. I also like the design of him. The design was pretty accurate to the comics, and I really did like that about the show. Was that a lot of the designs were accurate or a little bit more stylish interpretations of the comics, which is pretty cool. But Martian Manhunter, though, man, this guy's great. From this origin, from him explaining his story, his side of the story, or whatever, what happened to the Doctor, because in his original story in the comic books, he gets teleported from Mars by Doctor, and the Doctor gets a heart attack. But here, Supergirl's adopted father on Earth was recruited by the DEO, and the DEO stands for like the Department of Extraterrestrial organization or whatever. I don't know what it is, but the DEO wanted Supergirl, but he's like, hey, no, you know what? I'll go in Supergirl. I know everything about her, so just use me. I'm her father, somewhat. I'm her adopted father. So the DEO's like, yeah, totally. So they bring him along to capture Martian Manhunter. So they go to the Brazil or something like that, some South American country or whatever. Like the Amazons or whatever. I don't know where it is. But they go over there trying to look for Manhunter. The dad finds Manhunter, and the Manhunter saves him from a python, which is a really funny scene because he didn't seem really in danger, but just for the sake of the story, he saved him from a python. But eventually the guy that recruited the dad, he wanted to capture Manhunter, so he goes after Manhunter, and he almost kills him if it wasn't for the dad that sacrificed his life. And Manhunter dedicated his whole life in protecting or doing the promise, which is the promise that the dad asked for Martian Manhunter was to protect his daughters. So his whole life after that was to protect his daughters, and that he became the officer that was about to kill him or wanted to capture him, which is Hank Hedgehog or something like that, like Sonic the Hedgehog or whatever. I don't know, but I guess all I see is John Jones when I see the actor that plays Manhunter. But Manhunter was great. His morals were right there. It was spot on. The actor that portrayed this guy was like David Harewood or something like that. I really don't want to butcher your name, but I already did probably. But he did a fantastic job. So the likes about this show. Well, what I really did like was the Martian Manhunter origin. Obviously, I already went through that. And I also like that little aspects that they put from the comics into the show, like white Martians, solar flare, and a bunch of other little things that are like, oh, I read the comics, and I know exactly what you're talking about. Another thing that I really, really did like about this show is that it never took itself too serious. It was really lighthearted, and fun, and that's what it needs, because if it took itself too serious, then I'd rather just be watching Batman vs Superman. And again, it's a great movie. I love it. I would watch it, but I'm just saying, let's have a different varieties. It has to have different varieties. That's what it's all about. Variety over, quality over quantity. That's what I want. Okay, so here we go. The parts that I hated. The parts that I hated was the villains. The main villain, or the villain of the Supergirl, was Non, and you barely see Non, and was pretty bad, and there was another villain like Indigo. It was like a sister or like a related to Brainiac's race or whatever. And like like in the end, like they team up, and it's like the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like the villains were really dumb in this show. They were just generic villains, and they weren't as impressive, or it wasn't as good, or I just really didn't like the villains. Another thing that I really didn't like was the ant. So in Supergirl, the ant comes back from the Phantom Zone because the ant was a hippie and tried to kill people or manipulate them at Krypton to save Krypton, even though it was already too late. But anyway, she tried it again. She got incarcerated by her own sister or whatever. And she comes back to Earth and is like, oh, let's protect Earth now. Like, let's do this. Let's try to control everybody's brains to protect the Earth. And she's like, gets stabbed by Alex, which Alex is Supergirl's sister, with a kryptonite sword. Oh my gosh, okay. And then it's just a dumb thing that I really didn't like. And also a lot of missed opportunities. Like Red Tornado was introduced like in the sixth episode, and he just got blown up, and it was just like, I don't know. Red Tornado is a pretty cool superhero in my opinion. He's an android, basically trying to live a good life, be a superhero and all that, which I really do admire about Red Tornado. Okay, so these are the two episodes the episode I liked the most and the episode I hated the most. So these are ups and downs, basically. So one of the really high points was the end where Supergirl and Alex have to fight it out. Now it was a short little fight, but it was, man, the suit that Alex was wearing. So basically, Nod went through and mind controlled the city, mind controlled Alex, and forced Alex to fight Supergirl, and they made them this like super awesome lace kryptonite suit. It looked really nice, it looked beautiful, and when they were fighting, it's like, man, like this reminds me of Batman vs Superman, and I'm like, dude, this is awesome. Like now, like this is great. Like this is their Batman vs Superman. Basically, that's what I'm thinking in my brain. Like because she has an armor with lace with kryptonite. They're fighting it out. With the kryptonite sword that I was mentioning earlier. Like, man, it was great. It was fantastic. And of course, the scene had to be ruined with, think about it. Think like, oh, I'm your sister, or like love, or whatever, compassion. And she breaks free from the spell or whatever. Okay, and the episode that I hated the most, like I literally deeply hated, was for the girl who has everything. Now, there is a comic and there's an episode in the Justice League Unlimited universe called For the Man Who Has Everything. And that's basically Superman's birthday. And in Superman's birthday, he gets a gift from where he thinks it's from a native like planet that he went to save, but in reality, it was from Mongol. So he opens up the present, and the parasite gets into him, and he starts thinking, or he starts dreaming about the life he would have had in Krypton if Krypton didn't get destroyed. And it was just the saddest thing I saw when I was a small kid, and it just impacted me so much that in the end of the episode, Superman realizes that this is all fake and none of it is real, and he literally has to face his son, and he tells him something like I saw you when you get born, and when your little fingers holded my hand, or squeezed my index finger, or my finger, like when your hand squeezed my finger, like I just felt like you never wanted to let go, and I love you, son, but I have to say that I don't think you're real. Now imagine that, like this is real, like this dream is real for Superman, and now imagine that he has to say like to his real son, parentheses or semicolons or whatever you want to say. I'm forgetting the thing, air quotations there, but that you're fake. Imagine saying that, and then it turns out to be fake, and all this life that you thought was real, it's just fake, and it just hurt my heart. But in Supergirl, her day was going to hell. Like everything, like could possibly be going wrong to her at the moment, it was going on wrong with her. So when she came home, the parasite gets to her, and she's like, oh, I'm in Krypton. Okay, that's great for you, ma'am. That's great for you. But guess what? you weren't, and she explains this too in the last minutes of the episode, that she was just thinking of Krypton because she was feeling bad living here, or she didn't have enough, like courage to live here, or like whatever. Like she didn't like living there at the moment, but like she's fine now and that she loves it here or whatever. But I really did not like it because she had nothing to lose with Krypton. Like she'd rather just stay with Krypton than come back. Like, oh well, my life's gone to hell. Then let me just stay here in my imaginary dream where I could always be happy like this. That's what I think what should have done. But those are my thoughts on Supergirl. What were your favorite episodes? What were your favorite moments of Supergirl? Let me know down in the comment section below. Now, as always, give a like and share this with your friends, amigos, your parents, your compadres, your cousins, whoever likes DC and you like my content, let them know. Share the love, share the deadly assassinations. That's because I'm a cosmic mercenary, I guess, whatever you want to call it. But let me know your opinion. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm just repeating myself now. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time. If you guys like this, let me know so I can do more reviews, and then we'll see how it goes. But remember, guys, everything's better with Cosmic Mercenary, and see ya.